It's official, everybody. The NASCAR Cup Series is back. We had the cookout clash at the Bowman-Gray Stadium, the Madhouse itself, on Wednesday night. It was delayed for multiple days because of the weather, and indeed, there were doubts about it running right up until it actually got going. But got going it did. They ran the whole thing, but what were the 5 things that we learned? Here are the main highlights from the cookout clash in 2026. And the first thing is that we're going to start with the weather itself. Despite the stadium literally being under about 6 inches, a foot of snow, quite possibly literally at the weekend, the authorities there, the groundskeepers, the people who work on the stadium itself, they did a fantastic job to get it up and underway. Like I said in my updates and also in Phil's updates in the lead up to this as well, we were both doubting whether it was going to happen. Even if they cleared all of the snow up, it still seemed like it was going to be very cold and potentially icy as a result. And the biggest challenge we really got was in the second half of the race when it was wet, but there was no issue with snow, no issue with ice, and there was plenty to talk about in terms of incidents on track. There were so many we can't even mention them all, to be quite honest, but it was a fantastic job that these guys and girls did to get the place up and ready and running for the NASCAR Cup Series season. Just a reminder though, for anybody who is a bit confused about what the cookout clash is, it is part of the NASCAR Cup Series season, but it is not a points paying event. So what happened here effectively does not matter for the rest of the season. It's a bit like the All-Star race that we get midway through the season. But yeah, let's move on to the actual racing itself, because Kyle Larson, our champion from 2025, was the pole sitter, and in the early stages he looked absolutely dominant, but eventually it did all unravel for him, unfortunately. He did do a fine job holding off the likes of William Byron and also Chase Briscoe, who provided incredible challenges to his lead, but he held his own for the most part during the first 2 caution periods. But after that, he just seemed to sink like a stone. And unfortunately for him, the third thing we learned, let's move on to that. The third thing we learned is that the champion was out eventually too. He had 2 late incidents in the race. I think Kyle Busch was involved in the very final one, a 4-wide incident around a track. I mean, if you've seen this track, it is nothing like a super speedway. It's not even like a single mile track. It is really, really tiny, a quarter-mile track, and as a result of that, 4 wide is just not possible. 3 wide is really stretching things. Even 2 wide can cause a lot of problems depending on how you run around that place. But yeah, Kyle Larson, not a good day for him. He was out with about 20 laps to go at the end of this one. Like I said in the first thing, we did get some weather in the second half of the race because effectively we had a pause halfway through. It was 100 laps and then another 100 laps, but we had a scheduled caution halfway through, and it's kind of a good thing that we did, to be honest, because if the rain really hit hard while they were out there racing, it would have been absolute chaos. Of course, there are no pits. There is no pit facility really at the actual circuit, in the actual circuit, like in the center of it, like we normally get. There's just plain not room for that. It's like a greyhound track almost. It's really, really small, is the Madhouse, and that's why they call it the Madhouse, because it just produces chaos. But it rained quite heavily in between the 2 periods at the start and the finish, the first and final 100 laps of this race, and as a result we saw some intermediate tyres being out there as well, and it wasn't really a surprise that we got lots and lots of pile-ups, especially in that second half of the race. There was just simply too many to call here. There were so many incidents throughout, but who came out on top? Final thing we learned, who won the cookout clash at the Bowman-Gray Stadium? Well, it was none other than Ryan Preece. We had so many different leaders throughout this one. We had Kyle Larson, we had William Byron, we had Chase Briscoe, we had Carson Hocevar, he led for a good portion. Shane Van Gisbergen, he even led pretty briefly as well, but it was Ryan Preece who won this one, and this is his first ever Cup Series victory. It is not a points-paying one. It will not go on his official record as a Cup Series victory, but he's won it. Fair play to him. He's had like 30 top 10s in his NASCAR Cup Series career so far. This is his first victory of any kind. So fair play to him. I'm very happy. He was very happy too. He did some donuts and some burnouts after this, as is kind of customary in NASCAR, and he almost got caught on the infield. He just about managed to get out again, but he almost got caught on the infield and bogged down as a result. But yeah, very entertaining race, guys. I do implore you go watch it. But one little bonus thing to talk about, Fox Sports. I mean, you've had plenty of time to sort out your coverage, sort out your highlights package. Do better. I'm sorry, but it's edited so poorly. That's how I watch this. I don't watch the races live, unfortunately, because they're not very conducive to me doing that here in my time zone in the UK. But the highlights package from Fox, I mean, they've had months to work on this, and honestly, it's one of their poorest efforts. Not their worst. I mean, they did show the winner this time. They have not shown the winner in the past. But yeah, there is so much of too much of a good thing. And there were several parts of the highlights that were like 2-3 minutes long, where it's like, we're just showing racing here with no commentary during what is an advert break, or I presume that is a commercial break. So they're not even commentating on it. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. I don't get it. But anyway, Daytona in a few weeks, so maybe they'll sort things out for that. Who knows if indeed Fox are covering it. But yeah, NASCAR is back, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Was it worth the wait? I want to hear what you have to say, as always, either way on this one. And like, share, comment, subscribe here on the Motorsport Reports if you want to see more like this. Have a great day, guys. See you very soon.